It's Friday, May 30th, 2014, and let's talk about what happened this week over at xdadevelopers.com. For a change of pace, let's not start with device updates. Earlier today, a video was posted from the London LG G3 event showing off a pre-production LG G Watch, giving us a glimpse at Android Wear. The software definitely looks a little bit early, and the hardware looks a little bit rough, but it's really nice to see an actual live piece of hardware running what is essentially the future of Android wearables. Hopefully, we'll learn more about it in the coming weeks, but from what I understand, the price is supposed to be around $250, which is still a little bit steep for an accessory as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, next up, device updates. This week, the Sprint Galaxy Note 2 was finally updated to KitKat. It's rolling out over the air as we speak, but unfortunately, the OTA has not been captured yet. But still, keep an eye on the update thread if you're interested. I'm sure it will be there before too much longer. Samsung also posted the open source kernel files to their open source release center, and it appears that XDA forum moderator Garwin has started working on an aftermarket kernel for the Note 2. Also this week, a bundle of HTC One M7 updates have started appearing on the horizon. This week, the Verizon and Sprint M7 received their update to get Sense 6, and the AT&T model is supposed to be receiving its update sometime soon as well. The OTA for the Verizon M7 has been captured and made available, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time before the others are grabbed, so just keep an eye out for that. Now moving in a very different direction, a really interesting feature popped up in the OmniROM nightly builds as of this week. As you probably remember, not too long ago, Google added the ability to say, "OK Google" to their launcher, which would open up Google Now and allow you to interact with it and do things. In these latest OmniROM nightlies, though, they've added the ability to define your own custom hot words. Things like, "Hey camera," which will launch your camera, or "Show me the money" to launch a budgeting app. It's really an awesome feature, I think, and I can see it being extremely useful, especially for mundane little tasks, things that you do all the time, but you don't want to have to search for the app all the time. So if you have not checked out OmniROM lately, definitely go ahead and take a look at it. You may not want to jump onto nightlies, just gonna throw that out there, but you might want to just check to see if your device is supported, see if you're interested in developing for it, helping out in any way. One way or another, it seems like a really interesting feature, and perhaps other ROMs will want to adopt it as well, so take a look at it if it sounds interesting. The next story I wanted to talk about involves the OnePlus One, which unfortunately has not seen much yet in terms of development. Part of that has to do with just lack of availability, but the other part is that a custom recovery wasn't available. Up until now. Thanks to XDA senior recognized developer Troy, an official, fully functional port of TWRP has been made available for the OnePlus One. And actually, this new build, version 2.7.0.0, brings along a really interesting feature as far as I'm concerned, mouse support for USB on the go. So basically, if your digitizer doesn't work right for some reason or another, and you need to flash something new to your device, you can do it now if you've got a mouse. So yeah, if you've got your hands on a OnePlus One and you want to check TWRP out on your device, you can find a link to how to do that down in the video description to the portal post, which has a link to it. Now moving in a completely different direction, this week a story popped up talking about XDA senior member Abtech's attempts to port Firefox OS to the Nexus 5 and how there are new nightlies available for it. Now the biggest issues with it so far seem to be the camera preview is broken, WPA2 Enterprise does not work, and just the fact that it's running Firefox OS. Realistically, I don't have any problem with Firefox OS. I just haven't had a great experience with it so far, and a lack of apps, things like that. If you do have a Nexus 5 and you're interested in giving this a try on your device, check out his forum thread for all the details and links and everything. And one last story. As I mentioned previously, XDA DevCon is coming in a few months, and as of this week, a call for speakers has gone out. There are loads of slots available for all sorts of different topics, so if you've got something maybe Android related that you want to talk about, development related you want to talk about, forum related, anything like that, go ahead and take a look at the portal post just to see what they're looking for and maybe fill out the form if you're interested in giving a talk. And as usual, 3 other videos were posted to XDA Developer TV this week. First up, TK did another XDA Expose Tuesday talking about Always Correct. Then I did a device review of the Yoda phone. And finally, TK did another Android app review talking about sharing screenshots using Web Scrapbook. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about, as well as the links to my YouTube channels down in the video description as usual. Feel free to hit that like button down below the video if you liked the video, and subscribe to receive our content as soon as it becomes available. Thank you so much for watching though, and I'll see you next time.